You have one faction whereby they know who that person is who is harassing them. They know that person's character. But there's also, and I would argue, a substantial amount of people who do not know the character. They may know the person, but there's no way to identify. There may be an online profile and all this harassing them, right?
I think young Bromat Fahmi Fazil just said it yesterday in Parliament.
Yeah.
The MCMC can track and can trace who's the person by using this pseudonym.
Okay, so then let's go to that. So based on what he has said in Parliament now, he's saying the MCMC can track.
Yeah.
But I, as an individual, how, if I am being harassed, or if I am being harassed online by a profile I don't know, what is the process I take to reach MCMC? And then from there, what is the recourse from MCMC, for example, to find that person, and what can I do?
Good question. That's where you're coming.
Yeah.
First of all, go offline. Go offline. The second act is report to MCMC. MCMC have a website for complaint per se. They have a form and they have types of harassment or abuse or offensive act has been done against you. One for postal kind of things. Number two is for broadcast and online harassing and so forth. So for our discussion today, we talk about online harassing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have to lodge a report to. That's why I say reporting to the authorities is first and foremost. You can report both to these two authorities, law enforcement agency. One is Police Diraja Malaysia. Second is MCMC, and it's all available for MCMC. It's online complaint. You got a form. You can even walk into the office. They open from morning right up to 4:30 or something like that. You can lodge a complaint. Second, report to the police.
Okay.
What do you go through? We have few provisions in our Malaysian law to actually to curb and to stop people from harassing you, causing you anxiety, stress, fear, and even to anger you to till you take your own life.
Okay, so let's then go to. So what are these provisions then?
Number one, you have Section 506 of Penal Code that is causing criminal intimidation against you. You can lodge
a crime.
Report. Yes.
It's a criminal offense.
Yes. Even you say it over the phone, which is not in physical, the police got a duty and obligations to actually to investigate the complaint, whether it's true or not, whether that complaint merits a further investigations. And this all being done by recording statements from the complainant as well as from the party who are actually doing it. And you just told that you don't know who's the person. That leave it to the police department. They have their own cybercrime department which can trace. That is, we leave it to the authority. All you need to do, lodge a police report. Don't go on a tug of war with that person online and keep on fighting against it and defending yourself. If something being said, this is what we call Section 211 of Communication and Multimedia Act, okay. 1998. Section 211 says that if anybody plays a kind of obscene, lewd, or anything that is by any means, which is offending you in nature, that causes you feel annoyed, threatened, then the authorities has their legal duty to take an action against the assailant.
Okay, but what is the definition of harassment in the online world? Is that defined by law?
Yes, Section 507A. It's the harassment is inclusive of including stalking.
Stalking.
Be it physical.
Is it words? Is it how would I as a law enforcement agency characterize what you're going through as harassment online?
The word must be abusive.
Okay.
Must be threatening. Must be harassing.
Okay.
And causing you to feel annoyed and your life being threatened.
Okay, so now if I go to MCMC now, as you were saying, I lodge a report and then they have their provisions that can protect me. If I were to say, for example, be bullied online and all this, harassed online, as what the late Asia went through. Now, what then will the MCMC do to find, because we are still in that branch of not knowing this character, what will they do then?
MCMC there's MCMC in charge of network facilities in Malaysia.
Okay.
So all that being placed in network, we call it in any internet service provider, in any platform, over the top of the platform or any online, be it in specifically in digital technologies, that is MCMC's duties to investigate. That's where the section 211 will come into play or into place. To operate, they will investigate your complaint. And if it's a criminal, then police will come together. It will be a joint force operations to nab the culprit.
So criminal means it even though it is something like harassment online, it can fall under the penal code.
Yes, that's where the section 507A of penal code, which is enacted last year, operates.
Okay.
You don't need to see the person in person. It's sufficient if it's in some form of online technologies, digital technologies. It could be gaming platform, social media platform, telecommunications. It can be in telephone, messages, in a beat, just name it. It could be in TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, anything, just name it. As long as the digital technologies, we have not seen that person, and the person is keep on, harming you by, with harmful content, saying all sort of things, even placing in messages, that police will take action.
So when you get this type of thing, that means the person, the victim, must then record all these statements.
Yes.
Because otherwise it could fall under, what do you call that? Hearsay, right?
Not hearsay. You don't have evidence to prove it in court later.
Like
part when it
screenshots
goes
and all
for
that.
when it goes for a trial, you must have evidence to say that so and so have done something like that. Passing remarks, insulting you. So for female, we have even one section called 509 of penal code, insulting your modesty, calling you with some negative names. You have that provisions. You can't even show a sign or a symbol to you, which is very offensive. You're asking for trouble. That I think lately we got so many cases under section 509 of penal code, insulting a modesty of a person. It doesn't need to be a female or male, any gender. Gender.
Before we get to the punishment, how long does this process take?
Depending on the investigation officer, how fast he wants to take up your matter, how serious you view it. But if it's life-threatening, then I think that the law enforcement agency, whoever is in charge of that particular complaints, it has a kind of a turnaround period as soon as possible. Before somebody takes their own life could not withstand, when she could not withstand or he could not withstand, something he does something to himself, the police should move in or the MCMC should move in.
Okay, but in this case, when you say life-threatening, how do you define that?
Encouraging you, go and kill yourself, go and hang yourself. Okay, it's not worth for you to be in this earth. All right, why? You're not a human being to be reckoned with. Commit suicide, jump out from the flat. That is encouraging. And we have section 306 of penal code again, abetting somebody to commit suicide. The encouraging words can be a kind of an intentional act, asking somebody to take his or her own life. That can be, kind of like an offense in nature.
Wow. And what is the punishment if the assailant is found guilty? What is the punishment handed out?
Maximum 10 years.
10 years in jail?
Yes. For section 306 of penal code, imprisonment of 10 years. As for 506 penal code, so threaten someone, it's 2 years imprisonment.
Sorry, just for the sake of the viewers, you said section 306. What is that?
Abetting somebody to commit suicide.
Okay.
Penal code.
10 years. 10 years.
10 years, yes.
Wow.
So those who are watching this podcast, please, if you're being harassed over the, any digital technologies, be it, or even physically, don't just keep quiet. Report to police first and foremost. That is your action. And later part, if no action been taken, please escalate further in writing, attach the report and say, what happens to my report? Is it being investigated? I think the police is working on that. If there's no follow-up action been taken for a particular police report, I think the complainant has his rights, constitutional rights, to find out what happened to the complaint. Because fearing that the person who's actually intimidating or harassing you will come further, in a kind of like oppressive manner to harm you further. By the time the authorities comes back, you may you may want to take your own life. You cannot withstand, because
Yeah.
everybody's emotional strength is different
Different, yes.
from one person to one person.
Yeah.